introducing this evening's youth facilitators. And so I just want them to take a moment to say what's up. And so this evening we have with us Sydney Pritchett. Say what's up, Sydney.
What's up, y'all?
We also got Mr. John Beekman. Say what's up, John Beekman.
What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
Awesome. We also have with us Miss Anna. Say what's up, Anna.
Hey guys, it's Anna Drew here.
All right. And last but not least, we have with us representing for the college students, Colinthia Mitchell. Say what's up, Mint. Well, I guess we may have lost Lynn. And she'll say what's up when she comes back. But so we're excited to have with us, guys, as our special guest. He's one of the most popular guys in Dallas County now. He's lots of fun to be around, and he's doing a dynamic job as the new Superintendent of Dallas County Schools. Say what's up to Colonel Sampson. Say what's up to everybody, Colonel Sampson.
Hello, everybody. Colonel Sampson here, just checking in. Happy to receive the invitation to be a part of this great program.
Awesome, awesome. And so you already know what goes on the Hope Show. We have fun, and our kids have some questions prepared for you. And so each of them have about 3 questions apiece. So you know about how long you got. It's a 30-minute show. But we're going to let them pitch out the questions, and we know you got some awesome answers for them.
I'm prepared, ready to go.
All right. Well, take it away, Sydney.
So, Colonel Sampson, what's the hardest challenge you faced with being a superintendent?
One of the hardest challenges I've faced is being a superintendent. But first of all, let me just say how excited I am about being a superintendent. I applied for this job. I prepared for this job all my life. And then just the challenge to answer your question about this job. The biggest challenge is, there's a lot of ups and downs. You never know what a particular day has in store. And every day is a challenge. So that can be difficult in terms of establishing predictability about what will happen. It's so unpredictable. And that's the part that makes it challenging to me. And it's also a part that makes it so enjoyable. Great question. Thanks for asking that question.
You're welcome.
Colonel Sampson, so as a colonel in the military, have you ever had problems with others in the lower people in the military doing drugs, and how were they dealt with when they got caught?
Well, the thing is, in the military, as with any other situation, you always have people who struggle with different things. So individuals, in particular adults, soldiers, struggle with substance abuse and different things. The Army actually has a regular protocol where they do military drug testing. So on a regular basis, there was a percentage of soldiers who would always get drug tested for illegal drugs or illegal substances. And the only way that you're able to have a substance that shows up in your urine sample, because it was a urine test that was given, calibrated and monitored and checked, is you had to have a valid prescription for that particular substance that you were taking. And if someone was found in violation of that, certainly you fell subject to losing rank, which impacted your pay, which impacted your family pay. But then also one of the things that we do, the military was never set up to just throw soldiers away, as with any organization. No organization is set up to throw individuals away who they've invested a lot of time in, a lot of money in, and a lot of training. So there were different support systems, such as substance abuse training and different things where soldiers could go to different recovery programs to seek assistance and seek help. And as a commander, dealing with those things, I had the opportunity to give soldiers second chances and refer them to various programs that would help them deal with their shortcomings that they were facing at that particular time. And thank you for that question as well.
Okay, so Mr. Sampson, what made you decide to transition from the military setting into more of a school setting?
Well, I will say the thing that made me transition was time. Time was the one thing that made me transition. I commissioned into the Army back in 1992. And as a commissioned officer, within the Army, you're given the opportunity to serve for 30 years as a commissioned officer. And so actually I served, it's actually 28 years. And the only reason I was able to get the additional 2 years was by achieving the rank of colonel. So upon achieving the rank of colonel, you acquire what's known as, from the day you enter, it's called a MRDD date, a military retirement date. And my MRDD date fell in June of 2022. So I recently retired in June by serving my 30 years, all as a commissioned officer, going from the rank of second lieutenant all the way to the rank of colonel. And that was my time to make the transition. But up until then, I actually was what you call a dual citizen soldier. So I was a soldier that worked on my weekend job, 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks during the summer, and any other time that the military needed my services. And then during the daytime and my regular job, it was working in education. So I've been in education for that time, either as a student or working in my current capacity.
As someone who served in the military for so long, how do you celebrate Veterans Day?
How do I celebrate Veterans Day? Well, it's great that you asked that question. I will actually be celebrating Veterans Day on tomorrow by serving. There's typically a lot of lead up events going into Veterans Day. Not all events actually take place on Veterans Day. So there'll be a breakfast honoring veterans on tomorrow where I'll be the guest speaker. I actually have to put on a uniform again. I can still fit in it. I'm still fit. I can still do my push-ups, my sit-up, and my 2-mile run. So I will serve as a speaker for the veterans program tomorrow here within the city of Selma. And on Veterans Day, typically my family and I, we get together, participate in a Veterans Day program of some sort within the city. And we just work together to do those things and just show my appreciation for other servicemen and women that I've served with. I actually spend a lot of time talking to other individuals who I've served with. So nothing super organized, so to speak, other than to make sure that I make connection, because my phone is loaded with lots of men and women who I've served with. And that's just a part that I always get an opportunity to reach back to those individuals, as well as participate in some local ceremony within the city. Thanks so much for asking that question as well.
So, what are your plans for Dallas County, and how do you plan to put these plans into action?
Well, my plans for Dallas County, as a superintendent, is one, I have a vision, and I've learned as a leader, I can be excited, I can be pumped up about things and ready to go, but I need to take time to let everyone else get caught up to what's going on, because believe it or not, and if I was polling you all, asking you questions, tell me what you see as challenges and things that need improvement. So it takes a little while to go through that process of listening to community members, listening to students, listening to teachers to really find out, because I can't just come in and say, oh, this is what I see, this is what I want to do, and then you take off and you start running and going from there. So I want to be intentional to make sure that I've listened to students, I've listened to teachers, I've listened to parents, and I've participated in community events. Just for example, I mean, you guys, the ebb and flow of a superintendent's schedule is just so hectic and so chaotic. It's been a full day. I left a middle school game with 2 schools, Martin Middle as well as Tipton competing, Selma quarterback club meeting, and I jumped out of a Selma quarterback club meeting to step out in a place where I can have this conversation, to make sure that I stay plugged in as a leader in all these different areas. So I think one, to help me accomplish my goals, it's actually a part of being tied into the community. I'm embedded within the community so that people see you, so that they know you. I need to be known for more than, oh, he's the superintendent. So what does that mean if I haven't seen you in a place, I haven't formed a connection with you in a place, and we don't have a relationship to tie to? So I'll be able to link in and tie back to being a special guest as Colonel Sampson. And that's one of almost like an alter ego. So Colonel Sampson was seen in this capacity or in this role, and all of those relationships will serve as a launching pad for me to then build capacity for me to build respect, for me to build relationships, to have individuals invest in the things that I see as those greatest needs to help move Dallas County forward as a school system. So there are a lot of things I want to do. I don't know if we have enough time in this whole show to talk about it, but I plan on doing that through what I call ASAP for Dallas County, academic achievement. That's always the first thing. That is my number one priority. If students aren't learning and teachers aren't teaching, why are we in education? That is the purpose of education. Teaching and learning. Want to always keep students safe. That is important. Accountability and partnerships. Those are my four things that I built as a platform starting in this particular role, and those are the goals that I work to achieve. So if you can do something or you see a vision that you can partner with me to help me accomplish those, I look forward to working with you as well.
What was the scariest part about being in the military?
Scariest part, I don't know. It's just that nothing was necessarily scary. I mean, when you sign up and you take the oath of office, and you take that oath, you swear to solemnly defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and you understand the risk associated with that. And when you sign up for that, that's what you sign up for. And I tell people all the time, and I was having a conversation with another colleague the other day, within our regular day-to-day life, we can always walk up to someone and say, trust me. He's like, what? Why would I trust you? And have you ever just really walked up question someone in the military if they say trust you? Because one, anyone who's taken that oath, they put their life on the line to serve the country over individual beliefs or perceptions. It's all about the country. There's a greater purpose. There's a greater good. So when you serve side by side with other men and women who are like-minded in that role to put service over self, you're comfortable. You're not uncomfortable. You're not afraid. You're not scary because you work together. You train together. You know what individuals' habits are. And if there's an area that's a shortcoming, those are the things that you work on so that you can perfect the mission. And if you execute the way that you train, you can execute your job with confidence and not from a fear perspective. So there was never a fear perspective because my training always prepared me to not be fearful, because my training would keep me as well as my colleagues safe.
Okay, so Mr. Sampson, are there any traits you learned in the military that you are able to showcase as a superintendent?
That's great. I really like that question. So traits that I've learned from the military. Military is all about leadership, and there's so many things from a leader perspective. And I just shared one particular piece about moving from one place to the next place, just within the sequence of events that have happened with me today. I think my capacity or my ability to think strategically. What do I mean by thinking strategically? I'm not worried about taking the next step, so to speak. I'm looking at the next 10 years down the road. And what does it take to shape the conditions so that success can happen over the next 10 years, building capacity. So whereas some people may focus on things that are more immediate, there are some immediate needs that I need to focus on. But as a leader, especially being the chief executive officer of an educational organization, you have to have the capacity to think ahead, to really anticipate, as well as those things that will happen or even unanticipated, dealing with unexpected things. That's a skill set that I feel that has served me well during my beginning couple months, to be able to forecast, look ahead, and not just get so consumed right now in the moment. The moment is the moment, and I want to enjoy the moment. I want to relish the moment, like I'm relishing this moment on this phone conversation and on this call with you guys. But I'm also thinking ahead. I'm thinking forward, and I have to be able to execute here in the moment, but also lean forward to set task conditions and standards for success for the future. That's one of those skill sets that the military really helps me in my role as superintendent.
So, Colonel Sampson, what is your favorite story from serving in the military?
Favorite story from serving in the military? I don't know. It's just, a story. I think a lot of it, it's not that it's necessarily, you want a funny story? I got some funny stories, or just, that so many of the things that I do, for me, it all stems around purpose. The capacity or the ability to do a good job at something and to work hard, and then you can look and see the outcome of your efforts of working with a team and what the team was able to accomplish. And I'll take a simple mission, what we call, it was the IRT mission. It's a Department of Defense initiative, and the IRT basically means for Innovative Readiness Training. So that mission, I did a mission in Arkansas, and it was a 2-week mission. But to do a 2-week mission, it took us a year to plan, to go to 5 communities within the Arkansas region, from like Memphis all the way over to Mississippi. We covered providing healthcare, optometry, medical care, and all types of support services to people within rural communities. And we had to plan that by bringing professionals. We had to bring doctors, dentists, optometrists, a whole host of individuals from all over the U.S. into those 5 locations for 2 weeks in order to conduct this mission. And just the timing and the training and the execution that goes into it. When I say a rock drill, we did rock drills that entailed everything from who's going to pick up the rental vans, where are they going to be, when are they supposed to be there, who's going to pick up this group, and all the little details. Sometimes I tell people, we speak in generalities, but we live in the details. And when you realize that there's a certain level of detail, that if that one small thing that you think is so insignificant doesn't happen, it blows the whole plan. And just to see those things come together and to be able to walk through it and to understand that someone is dependent on that one small thing that I do, it impacts the whole mission. And the coolest part, to answer that question, we did that mission, and it was a purposeful mission, a relevant mission, and it provided services for people in our homeland who don't have medical care, that don't have access to eyeglasses and health care in rural areas. That was an exciting mission, and the Department of Defense, through the Innovative Readiness Training, was able to provide that. And we did that right here in the U.S. in Arkansas. And there are a lot of missions that I've done likewise in Belize or in Africa. Those missions are excited because of the travel, but when you can do those same things, it's the same skill set. We were just able to exercise it within the U.S. That was a cool feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, Colonel Sampson, in your spare time, what do you do for fun, and what are some things that you enjoy?
For fun, I spend a lot of time with my family. This weekend, I spent the weekend watching my son play soccer, and our family, we were moving in 5-10 different directions, and everyone came together for about 1 hour. That was the coolest hour that I can tell you that I've had in a long time, to have my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sister, my niece, my mom, my 3 children, my wife, and our 2 dogs, all in one place for 1 hour was just so meaningful. And the kids always say, "Daddy, why do we always have to take a picture?" I said, "That's the picture I want." So that fun time for me is family, playing golf. And while everyone was taking all the pictures that they wanted, I wanted a big family picture. But the coolest picture was when my sister was taking a picture with my daughters and my son and my niece, and I came through striking a Heisman pose, carrying the dog. I wish I could share my screen with you guys and you can see something so silly, just in those intimate, personal family moments, just to spend time with family. That's a cool thing. That motivates me. That excites me. That's what I like doing in my free time, looking for an opportunity to create the next opportunity with family. That's my downtime. Thanks for asking that question.
You're welcome.
Colonel Sampson, we have some jokes for you.
Okay. Now, so let me give you a fair warning, okay? I laugh at my own jokes. So I'm just saying, if you tell me a joke, I will laugh at my own joke. Go ahead.
So how do you fix a cracked pumpkin?
A cracked pumpkin, you jack it up or something.
A pumpkin patch.
Oh, a pumpkin patch. Okay. Okay. That's a good joke on the other side of Halloween. I'll take it.
Okay, so what did one toilet say to the other?
I'm draining you, or Drano. I'm flushing you.
You're a bit flesh.
Okay.
All right. What did the ocean say to the beach?
Ocean say to the beach. That one has me. I'm trying to think of a response for that one. I don't know.
Nothing. It just waved.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Okay. Okay. You got me.
Okay, so mine's is more in like a riddle form. So, what is seen in the middle of March and April that can't be seen at the beginning or the end of each month?
Repeat that.
Okay.
Not that I'm going to figure it out, but repeat it anyway.
Okay. What is seen in the middle of March and April that can't be seen at the beginning or end of either month?
Fools.
No, it's the letter R.
The letter R. That was too deep for me.
Well, all right. So that concludes our first round of questions that the kids have for you. And we got about 6 to 7 minutes left on the show. And we always like to close with words of encouragement and words of hope. So each of our youth facilitators have prepared my dog trying to kiss me. Each of our youth facilitators have prepared a quote. And so they're going to share their quote briefly and say what it means to them. And then in closing, we want you to just kind of share what those quotes mean to you and share some words of inspiration to the community. And so Sydney's going to lead us with that. So just say your quote, what it means to you, and pass it along to the next person. And then after all the students have said their quotes and what it means to them, then you'll close us out, Superintendent Sampson.
So that means I have to have a quote in my back pocket.
If you want to, or you can take one of the kids' quotes.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Okay, so my quote is happiness depends upon ourselves. And I feel like this quote is explaining how we don't have to rely on materialistic things and other people to make us happy, and that we can experience happiness like within ourselves and our own lives.
My quote is, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you don't stop. And to me, that means, I think it just explains how no matter what you're doing, no matter how long it takes you to do it, as long as you don't give up, then it still matters and you're still doing it.
Mine is there's always light if we're only brave enough to see it, if we're only brave enough to be it. And this just means that it's always light at the end of the tunnel, if you're not scared and you step out on that darkness and go into the light.
Okay.
And my quote is, I'm not going to continue knocking that old door that doesn't open for me. I'm going to create my own door and walk through that. And so basically, just you can't really get discouraged. A lot of people, they'll get knocked down and they'll be discouraged, and really you can just get back up and create your own way. You don't necessarily have to go with your original plan.
Guys, I tell you what, one of the things that I really like about each and every one of your quotes, one, you have to be able to find your own inspiration, and you have to be intrinsically motivated. So there will be things that will happen outside of you that will cause you to use that as a motivation to say, okay, that's going to motivate me. But I mean, find your own source of inspiration. Something has to be intrinsically within you to make you motivated to move. And so I kind of glean that from each one of you guys' quote. And I just wanted to reiterate that piece as a piece of commonality between all the quotes that you share. So the thing that I will share with you is this is the quote that I always take with me. It's Maya Angelou, and it says, I did then what I knew how to do. When I knew better, I did better. Life is about learning. A lot of times we may fault people to say, I can't believe they did that. And we don't know the space or the place or the season of growth that is or is not present in a person's life. So you may have a scope, depth, breadth of experiences that they've never experienced that makes your lens towards viewing what's going on appear to be inadequate. Keep in mind that may be all they know. So if you know better, or you can hope better, or if you can coach better, share those experiences that you have within you to someone else to enable them to do better. That's what I have. This has been an incredible opportunity. It's different, and you find a way to make it happen. And I'm just standing outside here on the road. I didn't want to be in a dark car that wasn't well lit, and so I stood out on a well lit place to have this conversation, because I mean you can spread joy, hope, inspiration wherever you are. Light places, you know what the word says about darkness and light, and so you can be a light in dark places. So go forth, do great things, and again, thank you all so much for having me on in the capacity of Colonel Anthony Sampson, retired. I know I've like I said, I've served 30 years. My wife tells me I look 35, but I'm actually 53. And this has been a cool experience. And again, thank you all for having me. Hope Dillas, I appreciate you so much. And if you ever need anything or I can be of assistance to you guys, certainly feel free to reach out. We're connected. We're tied to the same goal, purpose, vision, and mission.
We definitely are. And we just want to say, take a moment to say thank you, Colonel Sampson, for all that you do for the schools, for all of Selma's kids, not even just the ones in Dallas County school system, but you've been an inspiration to all of Selma and Dallas County. Thank you for joining the Rotary Club. You know, this is a man of service and of action. And so we just appreciate him, and we love you. We support you. And anytime you need the Hope Dealers, just know that we're here. You can come take over our show anytime.
No, I'm not taking over. You got I have more than I can say grace over. I'm good right now. But I got your help and support. Thank you for the work that you do. I appreciate you so much. You as well as your team and all of the Hope Dealers throughout Dallas County.
Thank you. So we got about 30 seconds left, and I want to use that to again say thank you. Huge shout out to the Dallas County school system. And thank you again, Superintendent Sampson, Colonel Sampson. Happy Veterans Day. So I hope I get to be the first one to tell you Happy Veterans Day. It's coming up Friday. But kids, y'all did an amazing job. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the man behind the scenes, Paul Alexander, who's been running the mics and everything for us. But it's been a great show, and we'll end like we always end. Just remember, y'all, it's good to be good. It's nice to be nice, and it's a blessing to be a blessing. Until this time next month, peace.